Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with daily technical update. It is Thursday, the 6th of March, and in this educational video where there's no recommendation or advice whatsoever, we will start with Tesla. Tesla found some support here at the 269 and a change, 269.19, around that. We had a doji 2 days ago, a little bit of bounce yesterday, still in a bearish trend though. But there is a little bit of divergence building up here, indicating a short-term downtrend exhaustion. We can see also just below the 200 moving average. Could maybe bounce here the next few days a little bit, where some buyers could try to go in and buy on the dip and bottom fishing. But be careful, it could be costly. If it takes out the lows there from a couple of days ago at 261.84, then expect a push down to 239 area. But a bounce is possible, so let's see about that. The S&P 500 yesterday also bounced from the 200 moving average just above it. Tested the resistance at 58.59 here, this gap area. Key towards the next few days, will it close above or not, but still we are in a bearish trend and it really needs to get back above 6,000 at the moment to demolish that picture. But up here it will around 5,900. It will be in a neutral position. If it takes out the lows here from a couple of days ago, the day before yesterday, then we could see a push down to 5,600 area. The Nasdaq 100 also bounced from the 200 and just above the 20,000. Could bounce up to 21,000 maybe. And then we have some resistance also with the 100 moving average, giving it a little bit of resistance too. All moving averages are, well, 55 declining, 21 declining, 100 still slightly rising, but I would consider it flat, so it could be a little bit of a resistance, but a little bit of relief here. Pre-market we are down around 0.5%, as we can see, so it doesn't look that good for the indices as such. We have Dow Jones that bounced back to close above this gap area here. It didn't close below it, actually. It was a couple of dollars above here the day before yesterday, closed back above, but also pre-market we are sliding back into it here. So let's see, it could be just a short-term relief. If it takes out 42,500, then we are looking at 4,200, maybe even 42,000, sorry, maybe even 41,560 level. Before moving on to Europe today, we will have a look at Hang Seng that is set to close more than 3% higher this morning. We have the weekly chart here. We can see, well, there is room up to around 25,000 coming back from these areas over here, but very strong bullish trend in Hong Kong shares. So I expect it to test the 25,000 fairly soon. The EUROSTOXX 50 is yesterday had a strong day, about 3% high, 2 or 3% high, I think. Closed just below 5,500. It kept itself above a key support area here at 53.56, 53.14. Really strong support area. If it takes out that, well, then expect a larger correction. Let's zoom in a little bit. If it takes out the peak from the 3rd of March, well, then we are in for another really strong bullish push towards 5,700. Here pre-market, we are almost unchanged. And we have the DAX, also very strong move yesterday, more than 3%. Here pre-market we are up a little bit more, so I think we could see a new high today. It is primarily driven by industrial and defense stocks and some building and pharma in Germany, but it was more or less widespread. So really strong move in German equities. If it stays above this gap area here, 22,148, we are still in a bullish trend. Lot of movement in euro and in dollar yesterday. Sorry I wasn't here to keep you updated as much as I would have loved. massive move above this resistance area, above the 200 moving average, above 107, above 107.60 resistance, and could be headed over the next few days going into next week. We never know how fast things will move, but 109 and 109.35 resistance could be reached. Really strong move, but expect a lot of volatility, maybe some profit taking, a little bit of a setback, and then next push higher. To really demolish this, I just put it on pause. We need to get back below 106. The cable, sorry, there it was. Sterling dollar, sorry, here it was. Sterling dollar is on the move to 130 and a half, where we have some strong resistance in this area here, 130.40, 130.50 area, and I think we'll push there. Positive sentiment on the RSI, no divergence, likely push higher in the coming days and week. Maybe a little bit of a setback, and then next push higher. If it slides back below 127.80, we could see a setback down to 126, but I don't think it's in the cards at the moment. Euro sterling also really a strong bullish move the past few days, testing the 200 moving average. RSI back above 60 threshold, meaning we are in a positive sentiment. Could push higher towards previous peaks here at 84.60 before setback, but let's see if it can overcome the 200 moving average and get it back above the cloud. Maybe a little bit of setback first, and then the next move higher. Also, dollar yen on the move, not as much as anticipated, but still sliding lower below the 146.65 support. I think we will see the 147.20 being tested. It is not the strongest one, and we could see further selling pressure. We can see how all moving averages are declining, 55 declining. Give it a couple of days, then it's probably dropping below the 100, which is also declining. Then we have a little bit of a death cross. It's not a strong signal as 55 below the 200. That will take a little bit more time. But we are pushing lower here on dollar yen, and we can see why this is a significant and important support. If I zoom in a little bit, we can see here on the weekly. Let's move this a little bit. This is a strong key support below the 100 weekly moving average, and if we're closing a little bit lower, we can also get the weekly RSI below the 40 threshold, meaning there's not much strong support until 140. Of course, there will be some on the way at 145, 143, and 142. On the euro yen, that is bounced strongly. Very strong move in the euro, testing the little peak here at 161.18, 161.20. Setback, expect a setback. We can also see that the RSI rejected a 60 threshold, so expect a little bit of a setback here the next few days. However, if it takes out the peak from today, expect a move up towards 163.60, maybe even, and this peak up here and this falling trend line. So, but a little bit of a setback is in the cards, maybe even down to 159. The Aussie yen also a bounce there, but only got 50% of the way of this downtrend here. If it takes out today's peak, well, then we are looking at 95.25, maybe even 96, and a change up here at the 786 retracement. However, if it starts sliding back below 93.5, expect downtrend to resume. And there is negative sentiment and no divergence, indicating likely lower levels. Sterling yen, quite volatile, didn't get all the way up to the resistance here and the peak here at 193. Got rejected at the 55 moving average. RSI got rejected at the 60 threshold. If it moves back below 191, expect downtrend to resume. Aussie dollar, the bounce is stalling. We can see RSI being rejected at the 60 threshold. Almost touched the 786 retracement at 63.61. Still in the cloud. Need to close above and need to get back above at this level here at 63.61 and above the 100 moving average, giving it a hard time to push higher. So that could be crucial here the next 24 hours, or will it slide back? There is some support here just around 62.70, and the key support here at 61.90, at 61.85. If it takes out that, well, then we are back towards 61. Dollar Canada, as we talked about yesterday, a likely correction, and it did after hitting a 61.8 retracement. Now setting back, and what I could do, I could also add a Fibonacci to that one, so we can get a little bit of an idea where we could drop to. We are almost down to the 61.8 at 143, where there's a little bit support, but we could also see, I think I removed this one, we could also see it dipping all the way down to the 142.35, but I'm not quite sure about that because we're still in a bullish trend. It's merely just a correction. Still positive sentiment on the RSI, and if we start crawling back above 144, then a bullish trend is set to resume. Sterling Canada, I think, I mean, for a second day it tested this peak here, and the 161.8 projection of this correction here at 185.57. I would expect a little bit of correction, maybe down to 183, 182, and then a push higher. We are in a bullish trend, but we are quite stretched here on the RSI, but there's no divergence indicating the likely higher levels. Euro Swiss, very strong move yesterday. We did talk about it could get up to the 95.20 area. Didn't expect it to move all the way up to 95.80 and above. And let's have a look at the weekly chart to see what's going on. Weekly, we are actually above the cloud. Let's see if we can close the week above. RSI currently testing 60 threshold. Could it turn all around and push higher towards 99, maybe 98 and 99, where we have some resistance? Expect a little bit of setback, but bullish sentiment and positive sentiment on the RSI indicating likely higher levels. Key will be where will the week end. Dollar Swiss trading below the 89.15 resistance, trying to get it back up this morning, but it is under pressure, and I think we could see it pushing lower towards 88, 87, 80, where we have a little bit of support. It's not that strong really, but keep an eye on. We also have a 200 moving average here. If we can get back above the 100 moving average and the 89.50, maybe we could push up to 90, but given also the outlook on euro dollar and euro Swiss especially, well, then we are in a bearish trend with lower lows, lower high, lower lows, lower high, lower lows. So for now, it looks fairly heavy. The dollar index collapsed over the past couple of days, testing minor support here at 104.15. There could be a push down to 103.30, 103 and a quarter, where we have also some support. Negative sentiment, no divergence, indicating likely lower levels. Gold rejected that rising trend line and the 786 retracement at 29.30. A little bit of a setback, and what we can do also, I know we will clutter the chart a little bit. We will have up here and here. We could see it did set back to the 38.2. If it takes out the lows from yesterday at 28.94, then we could see a dip down to the 61.80 at 28.69. We are still in a bullish trend, but you can see here also the RSI is also declining, and there is divergence. If it takes out the peak from yesterday at 29.30, well, then expect a push towards 3,000. The silver spot also had a strong day yesterday. It got up to the 786 retracement at 32.70. A little bit of a setback. If it takes out today's and yesterday's peak, I expect a push above 33, up to around 33.5, maybe even higher. But I expect a little bit of a setback here the next few hours and maybe today. Copper also almost got up to the previous peak there at 483.65, setting back now. But as we can see here on the weekly chart, what we are doing, we are in a bullish trend and closing up here. Well, positive sentiment on the weekly. Also, we are on the way to 500 and also maybe new highs here back from last year at just below 520. So, but I expect a little bit of a setback, and let's see if I can take out that peak. Crude oil, and here we have a WTI crude oil dipped well below support at 62.70, almost down to 65. Did it hit it? Well, 65 and a quarter. We are in a bearish trend, bouncing a little bit towards the end yesterday and this morning, but we are in a very bearish trend at the moment. I think we could see it pushing down to 64, maybe even down here at 61.80 level, as we can also see negative sentiment all around, both daily and weekly, likely pushing lower. We have the Brent crude oil dip below 68.68 support. We can also see here on the weekly what it means. We are in a bearish trend and could dip all the way down to around 65 area. The EU nat gas TTF cancelled the bullish engulfing bottom reversal pattern here by a close below it yesterday, and bounced a little bit from the 200 moving average. So we could be dropping further, maybe down to around 38.80 or 38 euros. But let's see if it can bounce a little bit here. If it takes out the peak here from a couple of days ago at 47.30, well, then it could resume uptrend. So very volatile at the moment. It's also a bit political, I guess. The US nat gas, well, rejected here at around 450. If it takes out 455, which was the peak of earlier this week, then we are on the road to $5. But for now, expect a little bit of setback. However, we are in a bullish trend with positive sentiment. Moving on to yields, and the US 10-year Treasury yields have bounced strongly past few days above 430. I think we could see a move up to 440, maybe even 444, which is the 61.8 retracement. But we have also the 100 moving average giving a little bit of a hard time here, but it is rising, so we could see a spike up to 444 level. Still negative sentiment, but things seems to be turning around at the moment. The US 2-year also bounced strongly and could be moving back above 405, maybe even all the way up to around 415. Let's look at the European yields that really were on the move the past couple of days. Strong jump on again yesterday, and let's move into the weekly chart. Here we can see massive jump, and we are now eyeing 3% on the EU 10-year yields. These previous peaks here back from October last year is in the cards. Whether we'll get there now or a little bit later is of course hard to say, but we are jumping higher, so that's where we could be headed here the next few days. Of course, if it slides back and closes below the low here at 2.65, then it will probably slide back to around 250, but that will also be a massive setback. The UK 10-year also jumping higher. Before it actually opened, I said, well, we will get up to 480. We are almost there, and I think we'll get there. We could also get up to the 490, 92 area with the previous peak. Moving on to crypto and Bitcoin, extremely volatile at the moment, I would say. After sliding back to just above 81,000, jumping again. But it really needs to take out the peak here at 95,130 to establish a bullish trend. Let's see if we can do that. If it slides back below 81,000 on the Bitcoin, then we could see a push down to this 73, 74 area. Ethereum struggling to really gain momentum after spiking to the 2,000 level. It needs to get back above 25.52 to establish a bullish trend, at least short term. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day and talk to you again later.